Good morning. It's 1 minute after 11 o'clock. This is the October meeting of the Human Services Committee. This morning, we're going to be hearing from Veteran Services. We will not be hearing from Social Services. As I understand it, Commissioner Hanchett was on a statewide DSS conference call, but I have often requested that he provide a kind of a written summary if he's not part of the actual meeting, just to update individuals on what's happening with various types of social service programs, as well as the operations at our DSS. I understand from one of our committee members that there has been some talk about the federal SNAP food stamp program, and I haven't heard those rumors or that information. But if there is anything to be addressed, again, I will ask Chris to update us on that. So, good morning. Can I get approval of the minutes from the prior committee meeting?
I'll make that.
Super. I see Supervisor Bruno first. A second?
Mrs. Frazier will make the second.
Okay. Thank you, Supervisor Frazier, on the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. We'll move on to, there are two requests. Good morning, Denise. If you could address the request to host a meeting. Is Denise with us? I saw her earlier. Did we lose her? Oh, no, she's...
You may need to unmute her phone.
I don't see the mute on it. Okay.
I think she's calling in.
Okay. This is a request to hold Service Academy interviews on the campus of the Human Service Building. If you're with us, Denise, anytime that you'd like to address the first agenda item.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Just as we're waiting in that, I see that the Service Academy interviews there at one county employee, one state employee, 4 volunteers, and 1 Service Academy candidates. Really, no cost for anything. How much really reviewing do we have to do on this?
Really, in my opinion, nothing. I think it's a wonderful use of the facilities. I just want to be sure that that Denise is aware of the protocols and procedures, the COVID protocols and procedures. Certainly, all of those participants would need to go through those. I see no, personally, I see no issue. Again, as a chair, I'm probably not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be encouraging your comments and and concerns. But no, I think it's a good use of the building, and certainly an important function, I think, of that department. So
I'd
Are we
echo
still-
that concern, Mr. Chairman. This agenda wasn't shared with me, so I want to know the answers to those questions as well.
Can't really hear you, Ryan.
I just said I agree with the chairman's concerns. This agenda wasn't shared with me, so I want to know the answers to those questions as well.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
You're on, Denise. Good morning.
Sorry about that.
Technology happens.
So
We were talking about the use of the Human Service Building, the third floor meeting room for the Service Academy interviews, and I don't think there was a consensus that was a good use of the room and the facility. We just had some questions as far as the protocols and procedures regarding COVID and how you're going to address those.
yes, thank you. So we, as everyone else in the building, just like employees would be, masks would be required. The total for the interviewers is approximately, there will be 5 of us. We will all be masked. We will be 6 feet apart. And the candidates coming into the building will also be masked. There will be an escort from the Congresswoman's office that will be bringing in only one candidate at a time. So normally we would have one interviewing and maybe 2 sitting out in the hall. That is not going to happen. We're only going to have 1 in and 1 on standby in the hall, which will be seated in masks.
Does anyone have any other questions or concerns regarding that issue? Administrator Moore.
Denise, it's Ryan. You're keeping the, you have lists for contact tracing that you're maintaining in the event that somebody gets sick?
Absolutely, we can certainly do that. Normally, we would have a list only of the candidates coming in and out of the building, but we can extend it to the interviewers and the Congresswoman's office.
Anybody involved, any visitors to the building, to the offices, we're asking that those be part of your contact tracing lists. Where are they waiting before they get put on standby?
So they'll, again, 1 person will be interviewing 1 candidate. 1 will be coming in the building through security. Security will then alert us that there is a candidate there waiting for escort. Somebody will escort that candidate up to that 3rd floor to seat them outside the room where the interviews are taking place. If the interviewer, the candidates are so far spaced apart because the interviews take about anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes, that there wouldn't be another candidate. But if there were, we can certainly make sure to have them stay in their car and we will contact them before coming into the building.
Okay, so if they're not in the hallway, then they're waiting outside the building to be brought in.
That's correct. Again, I thank you for bringing this up, and it helps me to, I've actually already thought about this, but these are, different times. So we definitely will make sure that we only have, at any given time, 1 currently interviewing and 1 on standby
Got it.
inside the building.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Amanda, did I jump ahead and not bring this action to the floor?
No, you don't have a motion yet.
Okay, so could I have a motion to bring this to the floor, please?
Brad McGowan?
Thank you, Supervisor McGowan. A second on that, please? Supervisor Bruno, thank you very much. Any further discussion or questions for Denise? Okay, could I call the question? All in favor of extending the Service Academy interviews? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Thank you. We'll move on to item number 2, request approval to fill the peer-to-peer program coordinator position. That's a position that's been vacant for quite some time. If you could, a motion to bring that to the floor, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Frazier. Do I have a second, please?
Supervisor McGowan.
Thank you, Supervisor McGowan. We have a second. Discussion. Supervisor Bruno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Being new to the board, could you just give me a little background on this position?
Okay.
A little more. I didn't get the,
Okay, great.
I don't know if there was an attachment, but I didn't have it.
Denise, could you help us out with that, please? Just kind of a Reader's Digest version of what the position is about.
Absolutely. Supervisor Bruno, this is a Senate-based program. It's called the Joseph P. Dwyer Program. It was developed to assist veterans within the communities and counties of New York State for veterans who are either at risk of suicide or are homeless. Obviously, they can assist with other things, agenda items, needing food, other resources, financial assistance of how to get, I don't mean literally financial assistance, but maybe more how to better budget their finances. So there's a full range of program outlines or that are based off from this particular program, but it was truly originally designed to help those veterans who are at risk of suicide or homelessness.
Very good. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Can you, Denise, could you please update us on the status of any applicants that are out there?
Absolutely, Supervisor. So we did, I believe, I don't remember what the date was, but we did bring this to committee some time ago before COVID, and we were just about ready to post the position and wait for those applications and interview, and then COVID struck. So there's training that's involved with this. Everything went to a halt. I'm bringing it back to the committee. At this point, we have, from that post, that original post, we got about 6 applicants with a range of backgrounds, some in the social work, behavioral health backgrounds. So I think a good list of applicants for this position. And they're all currently just waiting for the approval to move ahead and interview.
And for the benefit of those that may be unaware, we also share that that position with Washington County.
That is correct. We are the first piloted joint county venture under the Joseph P. Dwyer program to share our Senate-based funds with Washington County.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is we're looking for a motion to approve the intent to fill.
You have a motion, you just need to vote on that.
Okay, all right. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. So moved. Discussion items, 2019 claim status overview. And I think we all got that information as part of the package.
Yes. So this is really, I think the first time the board has seen anything like this from this department, even with my predecessor. This type of work, we'll say, we're moving in a good direction, but normally in the past, it was totally up to the individual county veteran service offices to how would they track, you know, some kind of quantum figures of their claims based compared to what's being approved by the VA and this, that, and the other thing. Well, previously we didn't have access to the VA system, so we couldn't really accurately track what was, you know, what we were doing and processing compared to what was being approved by the VA. It was kind of a hit and miss. If the veteran brought in the paperwork, we could track it. If they didn't, we were left to assume that things were being done or not done. So now that we have access to VA systems, we can go back and do our own research. And here, thanks to Cindy Harris, we have hopefully captured a really good, accurate count of the claims that we are processing, when we are processing them, what kind of claims they are, and the difference between what the veteran was receiving before they saw our assistance to now that we've assisted them. So the only thing really missing off here is obviously the veteran information of who the veteran is. I'm hoping that majority of the supervisors were able to take a glimpse. I'm hoping that somebody has some questions, but in the short view of everything, I think the biggest thing that I would like to point out is that over on the right-hand side, you could see the column that says current. That would have been the dollar figure per month what the veteran was receiving prior to our assistance. Now, we may have assisted them in the past, but for 2019, they've come back in and asked for assistance again. Then the next column, the new, that is the new dollar figure for what that veteran is going to be receiving. And the next column, the difference between the two, we just needed to know that internally. I don't know if that, I mean, it's a good number to know what the difference is of how much they went up from before we assisted them. And the last column, the retro, are one-time payments between the date that the claim was opened until the date that it was first awarded. So you'll see a retro that is a one-time payment to catch them up to date. And then every month after that would be the current column of what they would receive. On the last page, you will see those figures. And again, we will update you, I'm guessing maybe quarterly, of how these numbers will change, because it does take some time. It could take anywhere from, you know, we want to do the maximum amount of benefit in the shortest amount of time, but again, it's not up to us, it's up to the VA. But overall, a claim could take anywhere from a year to 18 months to be decided. But for the majority, they are usually, when the formal claim is submitted, within a 6-month period, we will get some kind of decision that whether it was approved, denied, or it didn't change. It stayed status quo. So on that last page, you will see the difference of the current amount that they were before all these veterans for the year of 2019 came in. The new amount of $76,460.95. So the difference for this past year, and we still have claims coming in being decided, and then the retroed amount paid out within that time frame for those claims.
Great, thank you for that explanation. Does anyone have any questions for Denise? Okay, great. Denise, thank you for your time. And to remind people, you're still collecting certain types of products through the end of this month?
Oh, yes, for the Support Your Troops, You Are Not Alone, absolutely. The month of October is our a support drive, we'll call it, to help support that group. They are similar to Operation Adopt a Soldier, but Operation Adopt a Soldier is a much bigger entity. They do their own fundraising, where our local community one called You Are Not Alone, Support Your Troops, they do not do that kind of fundraising. So we just use this month as a way to boost their supplies. They send out 2 care packages through the months for Thanksgiving for the month of November, and 2 for the month of December.
And thank you to the county employees and county departments that support that initiative.
Absolutely.
So we've got no referrals or pending items. Do we have any comments from the floor? Mr. Lehman?
No public comment at this time, Chairman Driscoll.
Thank you very much. Anything else, guys? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, hang on a sec, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. McGowan. A second?
No,
So I think I wanted to speak to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought, okay, I'll retract that. Go ahead.
I just want to say on the way in this morning, even though it's not the Veteran Services, but it was the Salvation Army. It looks like they have I think it's a food drive in that. I read about it last week going on. It looked like they had quite a bit of cars coming in. They had flag people out there. They had 2 or 3 lines of cars lined up. Quite a few that they had all the boxes stacked up, but it wasn't the paper. So how that it's all working out, how you get on that schedule, but just something to put an announcement out there if people are listening.
Yeah, this is the third week. The third week that they've done it at the Great Escape parking lot, and last week they had nearly 300 cars that came through, representing about 1,500 individuals. So, and they're going to be doing one more next Monday, and they're always looking for volunteers. I think they. From 9:30 to like noontime. So get in touch with the Salvation Army if you're interested in that. Anything else? A motion to adjourn, please.
I'll do it now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Second, Mr. Bruno, thank you very much. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.